Keira, congratulations, and
Thank you.
Welcome back to Toronto for the festival.
Yes, thank you very much.
And it's good to have you back. And how does it feel to be back for the festival?
Lovely to be back. I actually got to go out for dinner last night, which I think is one of the first times that I've got outside a hotel in Toronto, so that was very exciting.
Wonderful. Well, A Dangerous Method, fantastic movie, congratulations.
Thank you.
You've done some period sort of pieces before, which I'm a huge fan of, but what fascinated you about the people in this period?
Well, I knew nothing about it. I first got sent the script. Obviously, I'd heard of Freud and Jung, but I'd never really read anything about them. I vaguely went, oh yes, ego and psychoanalysis, but I really didn't know. Sabina Spielrein, I'd never heard of.
Right.
And I just got the script and thought, wow, this is absolutely fascinating. And the influence that they've had within our culture, within society, and how it changed society is so huge. It was such a revolution that time. I thought, God, it's an amazing thing. So I wanted to learn about it.
Well, the opening scene is really impactful.
Yes.
And, your character just seems like she's in pain. And was this an exhausting role for you?
Certain parts of it, the beginning definitely is kind of quite physical in a way. And yeah, it was. I mean, it was quite literally tiring, but it was also exhilarating. It was sort of it's not the kind of character that comes along every day, and I was and particularly not with a filmmaker like David Cronenberg.
Right.
So I was just sort of so excited about playing her that it was just great fun, which seems very perverse given the nature of the role, but it was great fun.
Well, I can imagine, you just kind of get that out there. It's just kind of like
I mean, it was just it's a fascinating thing. She was a hysteric, so looking into exactly what that was and why, and trying to figure it out. And I think very often when you play characters, there are certain things that link you to that character.
Right.
They feel like they're a thread, so you sort of go, okay, well, she's going through that. I've never been through that, but I can kind of understand that.
Right.
With this one, we had I have nothing in common with her.
Thankfully, though.
Thankfully, yeah. But, so it really was sort of like starting from scratch and building somebody up from the ground upwards, which was very exciting.
How do you prepare for that then?
Well, for this one, it was a lot of research. I mean, I really did know absolutely nothing about it, and I was really fortunate that the screenplay is written by Christopher Hampton, who wrote the adaptation that I did for Atonement. So I know him a bit. So I phoned up as soon as I sort of knew that I was going to play the role, and went, okay, just help, please help.
Right.
I said, right, come round. I'll give you. We'll talk about it. So I went round to his office, and I thought he was going to talk to me for a couple of hours, and I'd take notes and I'd get all the answers, and he just handed me a pile of books like that, and just went, read those. It's all in there. I went,
sure.
Okay, so I mean, which is actually exactly what happened. I just read through those and went and spoke to a couple of psychoanalysts to get some ideas from there, and it was sort of, like, I don't know, joining the dots at a certain point and just trying to make sense of it in my head so that I could find a way of playing it, which is very exciting.
Fantastic. And you have two great male co-stars in this. What was it like working with each of them, Viggo and
Wonderful.
Yeah.
It was just wonderful. I mean, I can't say enough good things about either of them. They're wonderful, wonderful people and so supremely talented. I mean, I think Viggo, from a work point of view, sort of approached that role in the similar way that I did, which was a lot of research, So we kind of both came to set with notes and with sort of piles of books and stuff like that, And then Michael is sort of very different. He works from a repetitive, just on the text thing. So, I mean, but it sort of, it doesn't matter, you come at it from a completely different approach, and then you get on set and it's about trying to kind of mould it together, and because they're so wonderful and so talented and so lovely, it was just really fun when we actually got there and went, okay, you're going there and I can go there, it was great.
Lucky for David Cronenberg that he had a great cast. And speaking of him, as a director, what was it like working with him?
Wonderful. I mean, he's like a magician. I don't know how he does it, I mean, he works with a lot of the same crew, so you step onto a set like that as an actor, and it's almost like, you're going into a very slick machine, and you just kind of try and sort of keep up with
the
it.
newbie.
Really. Yeah, I mean, the newbie. But they're so sort of calm and wonderfully supportive and creative that it is one of those things where he's sort of he makes you feel empowered. So he's just extraordinary.
And you have some sex scenes in this, and working with David, how did he sort of make you feel comfortable with that?
It was one of the things. I first heard that I was that he was gonna offer me a role. My agents phoned up and said, okay, David Cronenberg wants you in a movie, and I was like, I'm 95% yes before I even know what this is, before I just, I really want to work with him. I got the script, heard it was by Christopher Hampton, whose work I love, and sort of went, wow, this is amazing, and read it and thought, this is fascinating. but there are these 2 scenes, and I don't know if I can do that or if I want to do that, and I really don't know if I'm comfortable. And I actually phoned him up and said, look, I love you, I really want to work with you, I love this, but I actually really don't think that I can do this. And partly because I also thought that it's completely necessary for the story that the scenes were in there. And he, the sweetheart that he is, just went, well, if you don't want to do them, then we won't shoot them. But if you think that they're important, then we'll find a way to shoot them that makes you feel comfortable, which is exactly what happened. But I thought the idea that he actually just said, I would never want you to do anything that you felt uncomfortable with, so we just won't shoot it, was completely extraordinary. So after that, we discussed it, and just came up with, I knew exactly how it was going to be shot, we knew exactly what we wanted to portray and the reasons for them being there, and then it was sort of quite clear what needed to be done.
Well, sorry, last question.
Okay. I just want to ask you quickly, you have a lot of things coming up. Can you tell me, what it's like working with Steve Carell and Seeking a Friend for the End of the World?
Wonderful. And I've been very, very lucky. He's one of the loveliest men ever, and it's a very dark comedy, which is a sort of bit of a departure for me because I haven't done that before, and it was just a complete joy working with him. So hopefully, fingers crossed, the film will work.
Well, we can't wait to see it, and congratulations on this film.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.